25 years ago today, New Year's Eve, 1982, three members of the New York City Police Department took their sworn oath to protect the public to incredible, heroic lengths. They put themselves directly in harm's way to defeat a terrorist attack against this city. Miraculously, they survived, but only after enduring grave, life-changing injuries. We are honored to be joined this morning by these officers: Detective Rocco Pascarella, Detective Salvatore Pastorella, and Detective Anthony Senft. Today, on this anniversary of their courageous deeds, we rename our visitors' entrance in front of police headquarters for these brave men. Between 1974 and 1982, a group known as the FALN was one of several terrorist organizations that detonate bombs in New York City. In those years, the FALN claimed responsibility for 134 explosions. They chose highly symbolic dates and attacked city landmarks, including on this day 25 years ago, the very heart of law enforcement in New York City. On New Year's Eve, 1982, Detective Pastorella, and Detective Senft were on duty. At 9:27 p.m., a bomb went off at 26 Federal Plaza, headquarters of the FBI's New York Field Division. 26 windows were blown out. The glass fell in piles on the ground. At 9:55, then police officer Rocco Pascarella was conducting a security sweep here at headquarters. As he checked the north entrance to the building, he noticed a discarded fast food box on the ground. He approached with caution. As he did so, the box burst open. With such force, it demolished a revolving door and shattered the windows above it. It blinded Officer Pascarella in one eye and destroyed his left leg below the knee. Among those who rushed to the scene were two young members of the bomb squad, Detective Salvatore Pastorella and Detective Anthony Senft. They found Officer Pascarella on the ground, so covered in blood they did not recognize him as a police officer until they saw his gun. In spite of what must have been sheer agony, Officer Pascarella lifted himself up to warn them of the bomb's disguise. At 10 p.m., a third bomb exploded just across the East River at the U.S. District Courthouse in Brooklyn. Those who were here outside of headquarters recall how the blast rattled the windows overhead. Detective Pastorella and Detective Senft had seen with their own eyes what one bomb did to a fellow officer. They knew the danger that they faced, and still, when the call came, they answered. They drove their equipment up to St. Andrew's Plaza and cleared the area of civilians. Following the procedures of the day, they covered the packages with Kevlar blankets and put on their bomb suits. But as they knelt down to render the first device safe, it exploded. Witnesses saw Detective Senft fly 15 feet into the air. The bomb destroyed his right eye, and the impact from the fall broke his hip. Detective Pastorella was blinded in both eyes and lost the fingers of his right hand. For their actions that night, these three men received the department's highest honors. They shared their recognition with Detective Frank DeCicco and Sergeant Charles Wells, who safely deactivated the fifth bomb and who joins us here this morning. Welcome back, Inspector Wells. What is it that enabled these men to confront dangers from which most others would flee? From what remarkable well of courage did they draw? We can only know that we are indebted to these officers for the actions that they took, for the innocent lives that they saved.